In today's show, a momentum shift will drive the Bitcoin price to $50,000 in 6 months or less, says Nexo's Antoni Trenchev. That's right, Bitcoin's on track to break its all-time high and hit $50,000 in a matter of months. According to Nexo co-founder and managing partner Antoni Trenchev, he goes on to share, I think that there's just no case that this isn't good for both gold, but more importantly, Bitcoin. So yes, I'm sticking to my prediction of $50,000 until the end of the year. I appreciate that this is a bold statement, but the fundamentals are there and the momentum is shifting there as well. I'll be breaking down this exclusive interview highlights here in today's show. Also in today's show, Bitcoin is the new Apple, how Bitcoin price could reach $60,000 by 2023. And personally, I feel this is conservative. Bitcoin hangs near the chasm of the adoption curve, and its price looks similar to Apple's stock in 2008 before it broke out with a 520% rally. I'll be discussing this here in today's show. Also, in today's episode, will Bitcoin hit $288,000 as the stock to flow Model X predicts by December of next year? Well, a new poll reveals crypto trader sentiment on BTC. That's right, and a new tweet posted on Friday. The closely followed Plan B asked his 115,000 followers on Twitter to place their bets on where Bitcoin could land before the end of 2021. I'll be sharing some of these statistics and sharing this story with you here in today's show. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. Hallelujah. All the major cryptos are back in the green, but where's the Bitcoin price likely to go from here? Find out all this plus so much more in today's show. Here at Crypto News Alerts, I drop a brand new episode every single day. So be sure to smash that subscribe button and turn on all notifications to receive daily premium crypto news alerts. And before we kick off today's show, if interested in tapping into OPM, other people's money to grow your wealth and crypto portfolio, smash the link below this video in the description. It's going to take you here. Simply enter your best email address, then register for the free system. All right, welcome back to another episode of Crypto News Alerts. I'm your host, JV, and let's kick it off by diving into today's top story of the day. A momentum shift will drive the Bitcoin price to $50,000 in 6 months or less, according to Nexo's Antoni Trenchev. Let's break it down. Bitcoin's on the track to break its all-time high set back in December of 2017. How many of you remember those days when Bitcoin smashed about the $20,000 mark just around Christmas time? And he believes it's going to break that and hit $50,000 in just a matter of months, according to the Nexo co-founder and managing partner Antoni Trenchev in a new interview, which I'll include in the show notes below the video in the description. But here I'm going to be sharing some of the highlights from this exclusive interview. During the virtual Blockdown conference, Trenchev said his crypto lending platform is witnessing double-digit percentage growth rates month on month. I'm going to repeat, his lending platform is witnessing double-digit percentage growth rates month on month. Not too shabby. With a wide range of both institutional and retail investors jumping in, he believes a significant increase in institutional participation in the crypto markets will power a new bull run, and I agree 100%. Let's hear what he has to say. We have clients from every corner of the world, every age group. We have from young adults all the way to boomers who for some reason have chosen to put assets in digital form and to conduct business with us. So the demographic, it's really, really diverse, and we cover it all. Right now, we're seeing a great influx in both the retail part and the institutional side of things, because for institutions, crypto got a huge endorsement by Paul Tudor Jones. When you have the guy who put the word hedge in hedge funds endorse Bitcoin and say they have an allocation of a few percent of their total assets on their management in Bitcoin, he actually went on the limb to say he allocated between 1 to 3% of his overall investment portfolio into the king of all cryptos. We're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars. That gives them an additional boost of traditional assets to come into the space. So we have quite heavily been onboarding with institutions that up to very recently would have not to articulate their liking of Bitcoin. And now with this endorsement of Paul Tudor Jones, the timeline has shifted gears and expanding very rapidly. Let's also not forget that the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust is currently purchasing 3 times the amount of Bitcoin which is currently being mined. So is there institutional demand? You can bet your very bottom Satoshi that there is. Trenchev says Bitcoin's monetary supply stands in stark contrast to the level of money printing from governments, talking about quantitative easing, trillions being printed out of thin air, which he believes will benefit gold and BTC, and that's a fact. Here's what he said. I think that on the fundamental side, Bitcoin is stronger than ever, and this has, again, manifested itself in so many ways. Just from a pure price action point of view, it has outperformed just about any market. Bitcoin is up 30%. Gold is performing very well, but Bitcoin has outperformed even than that. I think the fundamentals of this excessive supply of cheap funding at even the slightest hint of market correction, it just pours water into the case of Bitcoin being there to stay and getting momentum on the fundamental side, because you have something that is hard-coded and finite. You can't change that. I think this is what has driven so many people, both from the retail and institutional side to it. And truth be told, it's the only free market because you have dollars. Everyone has a certain amount of dollars. And now you are competing with almost 8 trillion more since mid-March for the same amount of finite goods. That's great to point out, right? Your dollar is becoming worthless. I think that there's just no case that this isn't good for both gold, but more importantly, Bitcoin. So yes, I'm sticking to my prediction of $50,000 until the end of the year. I appreciate that this is a bold statement, but the fundamentals are there and the momentum is shifting there as well. Let me know your thoughts on these bullish price predictions from Antoni Trenchev. Do you feel it is likely for Bitcoin to experience a $50,000 price in the next few months and before the end of the year? Let me know your thoughts in the comments right down below. And our next story of the day, Bitcoin is the new Apple, how Bitcoin price could reach $60,000 by 2023. And before I break this down, let's take a look at the overall crypto market. We can see the king of all cryptos as well as all the major altcoins back in the green. I love seeing this personally. I love green as I'm an herbalist. Bitcoin is up 2% for the day, hovering just above that $9,200 support. It's great that we didn't break below that 9,000 support. We held very strong, and I think that's a good sign. Ethereum up 4%, trading at $235. XRP in the deep green, forest green, up 5%, trading at 18.5 cents. Chainlink up 3.7%, trading at $4.84. I said it before, I'll say it again. Personally, I feel Ethereum and Chainlink are amongst the most undervalued altcoins in the market. We have Miss Litecoin up 3%, trading at $42, and EOS up 3.3%, trading at $2.50. And before we check out some of the top exchange volume, which is also in the green and a beautiful thing to see as liquidity is pumping into the market, let's get to our next story of the day. In 1962, sociologist Everett Rogers published the well-known book Diffusion of Innovations, in which he classified consumers in the following 5 groups: innovators, early adopters, early majority, late majority, and laggards, as we can see right here in this graph. Since its creation, the above chart has become widely used among many industries. Although new technologies have better synthesized such research, the graphic flawlessly describes how each group psychological profile reflects on consumer habits and how they approach innovative products and services. One of the most important areas to note is the clear breaking point known as the chasm. Let's talk about it. Consumer preferences widely vary. It always has been, as we're all different as consumers. This gap between early adopters and early majority exists because consumers prefer to listen and copy references from their group. This leap represents the transition to a mainstream market and bears many similarities to current crypto's life cycle. Therefore, crossing the chasm is of utter importance for any product or service willing to serve a more pragmatism client base. Geoffrey Moore's book, Crossing the Chasm, states that to surpass the void, the product should offer a complete solution, provide a high service level to entice pragmatists, and establish a strong word-of-mouth reputation. Now here's the smartphone growth, which provides a great example. Global smartphone sales in the millions, and the source is coming from Statista. We can see back in 2007 how small it was compared to today. It's crazy, the growth, right? So even though smartphones are a household name now, their growth over the first 2 years of the industry averaged a mere 20% per year. Now, over the subsequent 5 years, a 50% growth rate indicated that the technology have moved to a much wider group of users. Apple's iPhone was launched in June of 2007. How many of you remember back when the first iPhone was launched? I'll never forget forget it. I remember at this company I was with, they were giving away, raffling one off. I didn't win it, but I ended up buying one eventually, saving up my money to do so. Now selling over 300,000 units in their first weekend, while the iPhone 3G came 1 year later and set a record of 1 million units sold in its debut weekend. Now, want to know who knows how to launch a product? Apple. They're the best. In such a scenario, one would expect a steady and healthy price chart for Apple during that period, but that's not what happened. Interestingly enough, as we can see it right here in the chart, as shown above, a 63% rally occurred during the second half of 2007, but even that period faced a 22% price drop in just 5 days. Early 2008 also marked some difficult time for stockholders as Apple dropped to $18 from $28 in less than a month. Now, during this period, Apple shares underperformed the S&P 500 by 29.5% in the first quarter of 2008. Now, here in this graph, it shows the smartphone penetration of mobile phone market. Data from ComScore shows that in 2008, the U.S. smartphone penetration was struggling to reach the 10% mark. Consumers were indisputably at the early adopters phase, so investors had reasons to doubt optimistic expectations, even if they were coming from reputable investment firms. Now let's discuss Bitcoin 2020 versus Apple 2008. Here we go. Industry penetration, Apple December of 2008 was 11%. Bitcoin June of 2020, 11%. Now let's talk about the 3-month volatility. 92% for Apple in 2008 and 64% for Bitcoin right now. Average daily volume by the millions. Apple December 28 was 5,000. Bitcoin 3,000. Now the 3-month S&P correlation for Apple in 2008, 0.93, and for Bitcoin this year, 0.85. So as shown in the chart, recent polling shows that 11% of Americans own Bitcoin, which is the same level as smartphone penetration in December of 2008. Very interesting, right? Similar trends can be found in the price volatility and the correlation between Bitcoin and the S&P 500. As we can see right here in this chart, Apple and the S&P 500 90-day correlation coming from TradingView. Although Bitcoin can be deemed an innovative technology with indisputable advantages over traditional financial instruments, you can say that again, as well as gold itself, it has yet to prove its trillion-dollar potential. Changing human patterns and, more importantly, beliefs is the Herculean task. I agree, but it's a coming. I believe that Bitcoin will become a household name as the majority of Americans and people worldwide will eventually stack Satoshis. That's a fact. The definition of money has been deeply engraved in society by fiat systems, which are dependent on intermediaries. Furthermore, money is a frequent subject to the erratic control of governments and central banks. Bitcoin may undergo a metamorphosis of sorts to reach an early majority of pragmatists. The June 2010 launch of the iPhone 4 finally set the spark for these pragmatists. Was it the 5-megapixel camera? Ooh, 5 megapixels with a 720p resolution? Could it have been the FaceTime launch? Perhaps it was the App Store reaching 5 billion downloads, or the reduced $99 2-year contract for the old 3GS model. Who knows? But it's possible that it was a combination of each of these product offerings and milestones which allowed Apple to bypass the chasm. Now, looking forward from here, it is a fruitless exercise to imagine what it will take to shift an entire niche of participants who are already aware of Bitcoin's benefits, but so far remain unmoved. Minor adoption catalysts for merchants and investors have already been put in place. For example, we have BitPay and Coinbase Commerce, but there's still plenty of room for improvement. That's a fact. Apple investors who fled in 2008 due to the stock price volatility, 20% drops in value, or the mainstream adoption uncertainties that lay ahead are likely quite regretful now. This is because Apple shares skyrocketed 520% over the next 3 years to reach $78 in early 2012. A similar growth outcome for Bitcoin would drive its price to about $60,000, amounting to a 1.1 trillion market cap in 2023. Of course, to many, that sounds incredibly unreasonable. My personal opinion, it's very conservative. A potential $1 trillion valuation for Bitcoin represents only 10% of gold's 11 trillion total market cap. Although it might seem like an impossible figure, it's just a mere 3% of the current global supply of bank notes, coins, and checking deposits. And I recently shared in a previous episode, Dan Held, the head of Kraken, who went on a limb to share that he believes the Bitcoin market cap will surpass $1 trillion, as we're talking about right here, and that the price of one Bitcoin will surpass $1 million. Let me know your thoughts in the comments right down below. And now let's check out some of the top volume. We have Binance leading as the #1 exchange in the world right now, up 10% for the day with 3.7 billion in volume. Hobby Global right behind with 3.3 billion in volume, up 35% for the day. OKEX up 24% with 2 billion in volume. And BitMEX up 18.5% with $1.2 billion in volume. Now let's check out the overall crypto market cap, sitting at $265 billion. It's nice to see it surging with 61 billion in volume in the past 24 hours. And the current BTC dominance, which has been on the decline, as many altcoins have been outperforming Bitcoin in the past 48 hours, currently 63.9% according to Coin Market Cap. And now taking a look at the top gainers within the top 100, we have AVE up 23%, trading at 17.5 cents. We have Bytum up 18%, trading at 8.5 cents. Bitcoin Diamond up 16%, trading at 84 cents. Knowles up 10.8%, trading at 68 cents. BBC Coin up 10%, trading at just below 11 cents, and Cosmos up 9%, trading at $3.05. And as we continue scrolling down, we also have Algorand, Satoshi Vision, IOST, Bancor, Tron. Many coins are surging right now. I'd love to know which altcoins are you most bullish on. Let me know in the comments right down below. And now taking a look at the biggest losers within the past 24 hours within the top 100, we have Celsius down 9%, trading at 38 cents. Loopring down 5%, trading at 10 cents. Hyperon down 2%, trading at 48 cents. Nexo down 1%, trading at 20 cents. Flexicoin down 1%, trading at 0.003, and Blockstack down 0.8%, trading at 12 cents. And as we continue scrolling down, you can see maybe only 10 or so altcoins within the top 100 actually in the red. That's because most of them are surging right now, as Bitcoin is, which is a beautiful thing to see here in the market. Now checking out the BitMEX margins, we can see the bulls are finally back in control, leading with 101 million in superiority in the last 24 hours, with longs leading 54.5% versus 45.4% shorts. Are you currently bullish or bearish on the king of all cryptos? Let me know in the comments right down below. And now checking out one of my favorite indicators is the Crypto Greed and Fear Index. Shows we're currently rated a 40 in fear. Yesterday was a 38, last week a 41, and last month a 54, which is neutral. And if you're not familiar with the Crypto Greed and Fear Index, extreme fear can be a sign that investors are too worried. This can be a buying opportunity. And when investors are getting too greedy, that means the market is due for a correction. And before we get to our next story of the day, will the Bitcoin price hit $288,000 as the stock to flow X model predicts by December of 2021? And I'll be sharing with you this new poll which reveals crypto trader sentiment on Bitcoin. First, I want to encourage you to check out the description right below this video by clicking show more in the description right down below for a detailed analysis of what's going on in the market. This goes for all 470 plus videos right here on my channel. Also have some very helpful resources for you to plug into, including the blog to my podcast, which could be found at cryptonewsyes.com. Not only is this updated every day, it also allows you to download the latest episode of the show in MP3 format. Also, be sure to subscribe on YouTube. If you haven't already done so, smash that subscribe button right below the video or visit the direct link, cryptonewsalerts.net. Also, I want to say I appreciate your continued support on all the major podcasting platforms, including Apple's iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, and Stitcher Radio. You can also follow us on Twitter to receive daily crypto news alerts. My Twitter handle is Crypto News Yes. And for those of you active on Facebook, as I am, I do have a private crypto Facebook group entitled Crypto Alchemy with over 17,000 cryptopreneurs from all over the world. To become a part of this, simply click this link, request to join. I'll be sure to plug you in. And for those of you active on Telegram, as I am, I do have a crypto Telegram chat. To join this, simply click the link. You'll automatically be added, and I'm looking forward to connecting with you personally on the inside. All right, now for our next story of the day. A new survey survey launched by Plan B, the crypto analyst known as the first to apply the stock-to-flow ratio to Bitcoin, reveals where members of the crypto community believe Bitcoin is heading. In a tweet posted on Friday, the closely followed Plan B asked his 115,000 followers on Twitter to place their bets on where Bitcoin would land before the end of 2021. The trader offered three price ranges between 55,000 and 288,000, which are based on the difficult iterations of his stock-to-flow model. The fourth and final choice of below 55,000 is based on other models not espoused by the crypto strategist. And taking a look at his tweet, here we go. Do you think Bitcoin will reach 288,000 as stock-to-flow X suggests, 100,000 or 55,000 before December of 2021, or will Bitcoin stay below 55,000? This is actually up now. There was 26,639 votes, so it's too late to vote, but it shows 42% of the people following the stock-to-flow model in Plan B say Bitcoin stays below 55,000. Then we had 22.9% say 100,000, 17.4% say 288,000, and the minority, 17.2% say 55,000. Let me know your thoughts in the comments right down below of where you think the Bitcoin price is heading. I'd love to know your prediction. You feel me? Now, check it out. The results of the survey suggest crypto traders are a bit skeptical of Plan B's stock-to-flow model, which predicts Bitcoin surging as high as 288,000 in the next bull cycle. More than 60% of the respondents do not see Bitcoin touching any of the price points predicted by the three stock-to-flow models within the next 2 years. Over 40% say they believe Bitcoin will not hit $55,000 before 2021 expires. The survey indicates that the current price of around 9,200, nearly half of crypto Twitter, sees a maximum upside of 450% for Bitcoin in the next bull cycle. That figure is a far cry from the gains of the 2013 bull market, which witnessed Bitcoin surge from $2.22 back in 2011 to $1,163 in 2013. That's a 52,287% rally, and the bull rally that propelled the King coin from $152 in 2015 to an all-time high of $19,666 in December of 2017. That's a 12,000% surge. So check this out. For Bitcoin to hit a 6-digit price, we only need to 10x from here. Keep that in mind as Bitcoin has surged previously, as we're witnessing in some of these stats, 52,000% and 12,000%. So is 1,000% or 10x, is it so far-fetched for the king of all cryptos, considering Bitcoin has risen over 9 million% in the past decade? Let me know your thoughts in the comments right down below. Well, that's going to conclude today's show. As always, I appreciate you tuning in and journeying along with me inside this incredible crypto revolution. If you gain value out of today's show, be sure to smash that subscribe button and turn on all notifications to receive daily premium crypto news alerts. And real quick before I go, if interested in tapping into OPM, other people's money, to grow your wealth and crypto portfolio, smash the link below the video in the description. It's going to take you here. Simply enter your best email address and it will redirect you here to register for this free system so you can tap into OPM. Enjoy it, and I look forward to catching you on tomorrow's show. Peace.